Hallo und willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge vom Podcast Jugendlicher Leichtsinn. Heute mit Lauren. Lauren, ich grüße dich.
Hallo, freut mich.
Wir werden uns heute über die US-amerikanische und deutsche Kultur unterhalten, da du, Lauren, hier in Berlin lebst und arbeitest. Und für alle die Englisch sprechen, es geht jetzt weiter mit Englisch, weil es ist einfach ein bisschen natürlicher und ein bisschen besser vom Flow her.
Hashtag leider.
Hashtag leider, Hashtag es ist eine globale Sprache. Okay, so, Lauren, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing great. I feel really good. It's a good time. You're over here hanging out with me. Those are always the best of times.
Totally agreed on that, totally.
The best of times.
Having a great 2020
Yes.
so far.
Really good 2020. It's
Cozy.
just going to get better.
It is.
It's only getting better every single day.
Although this start is pretty nice.
Can't
pretty
go
decent.
wrong with drinking every day. Not that we're doing that.
No, don't drink. Don't drink, that's bad. Really. It's not funny.
You forgot Patches is also here.
Patches is also here. Patches. Beautiful dog. Gets a lot of attention on the streets.
She does. She's very popular in Germany. It's my German child.
Yeah, I wonder.
She's from Halberstadt
Where's that?
in Sachsen. Halberstadt near Quedlinburg,
Okay.
Sachsen, from a farm.
Have you ever been to Quedlinburg?
Mm-hmm.
How come you know about it?
I was looking up places to visit on the weekend,
Yeah.
and Quedlinburg came up. They have all that Fachwerk stuff,
Yeah.
and it looked old as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm an American who likes old shit.
How old is it?
They have medieval structures still. Like they're, oh wow, someone's gonna fact check this. But I believe their cathedral is from the 15th century. Someone fact check. But I think it's a huge cathedral. It's beautiful in the center. And then it looks like, German Disneyland. It's like little Fachwerk houses and...
Is it touristy?
No one was there.
It's funny.
When I was there. And there's a Schloss, too.
Yeah, I read about it in A Lonely Planet, which is... Because sometimes I used to do that. I don't do that anymore, but at a train station, just going to the bookstore and grab The Lonely Planet of Germany to see how it is sold.
I think it's what is that in German? The
Denkmalschutz.
Yeah, ich glaube. I think it is.
That's an institution that takes care of old buildings.
Yeah, I think it's considered like the town or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's not it. But it's a beautiful town. Everyone should go. It's a nice day trip.
From Berlin.
No, I went from Leipzig.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when I was living in Leipzig. And then went down to Quedlinburg, had a sandwich, and then went back to Leipzig. Got a Sachsen, what is that, Wochenende ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Those are sick. Those are like free. I mean, 27 euros, but...
Is that still Sachsen? Quedlinburg? Because Sachsen ticket,
Uh-oh.
I don't know where it takes you.
Anywhere in Saxony.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
Whatever. Beautiful town, right?
Yeah, beautiful town.
Yeah. All right. So the reason you're here in Germany is because you thought Berlin is the best, right? And I want to go straight to Berlin.
No.
No, it's not.
No, I didn't. I didn't go straight to Berlin.
Shit.
Oh my God. No, I moved here for classical music, and I thought I need to be in a city that has a major Hauptbahnhof that a lot of Deutsche Bahn trains, that it's a cheaper stop than other towns. Because if you're in a bigger town, I don't know. I thought that was the case. And then I just moved to Leipzig. I looked at Nuremberg. I looked at Berlin. I looked at Frankfurt. I looked at Leipzig. And then it turns out there was a voice teacher in Leipzig and a friend of mine that I've had for 20 years who was also moving to Leipzig, Katie. And I thought, okay, I'll have a friend, I'll have a voice teacher, and Bach lived there. So
How do you find out about voice teachers? Do you just go online and look for them?
no, my voice teacher in San Francisco, the great Kathy Cook, look her up. She's amazing. Kathy Cook. When I was living in LA, I was taking voice lessons in San Francisco, driving up twice a month. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, Kathy Cook, when I said, I'm moving to Deutschland, like I'm getting the fuck out of America. And
What were the first reactions?
it made sense because most classical singers come to Germany. This is the Hollywood.
No, I mean, when you told people, whether like, why the fuck are you leaving? Or no, that makes total sense.
That makes total sense. I mean, people in California, I'm sure if I was in Missouri or Arkansas, they'd be like, why aren't you choosing America? But I didn't get that reaction. But Kathy Cook knew of Jeanette Favre-Reuter in Leipzig, and she said she's a good teacher. She has a great technique that comes from Deutschland. That's this tenor German technique, and it's very good, and you should study with her.
Is that something that you can? I mean, is that something that you can write a book on?
Yes, she actually did write a book on that technique.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Jeanette wrote a big, really a paper that she had to do, and she did her doctorate later in life when she was like 50 or 40. Sorry, Jeanette, 50 or 40 in Seattle, and she wrote this book on German, her voice teacher, where the technique came from. This very famous tenor, which I'm sorry, guys, totally don't know his name.
It's not about facts, though.
It's not about facts,
What
but
post fact era.
post fact era. Look it up on your phone. Yeah, so I went and I just contacted her, gave her my Lebenslauf, bio, my website. I'm like, I'm so great. I'm such a great singer. I'm from America. And then she granted me a lesson, but she was very like, we'll see if you can study with me. And then we hung out at the lesson too. We just talked, and she's like, oh my God. Then we clicked, and now we're best friends. I mean, she's definitely like a mother here. Like, she takes care of me.
Wow.
So thank God I found her. She's amazing. And she's a fucking sick voice teacher. Like, she knows things, which is nice.
And why didn't you just, I mean, don't get me wrong, why didn't you just stay in LA? There's an opera too.
Yeah, but in America, you don't have the repertoire system.
What is that?
The repertoire system here in Germany is the last of its kind. It's the last country doing this. And every opera house, think of it as like a football team. Like, you have your team of players, and they go on the field depending on if they're great or not. Or, they start whenever. It's the same thing with opera houses here. There's a team of players. So you can have a Festvertrag, which sweet Festvertrags, sweet gold. And everywhere else in the world, it's all Gastvertrag. It's all guest work. So it's not safe, meaning, if you're in America, it means it's really hard to get Krankenversicherung. And it's hard to get if you get sick.
Which is health insurance.
Yeah, sorry, health insurance. You can't... I don't even say health insurance because we don't even talk about it in our country.
Yeah, okay.
Like, Krankenversicherung for me is like almost now a fucking word in itself.
Yeah.
Because it's so good here, everyone. Ugh. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't stay in LA because it's not safe. And there's hardly any work. I mean, there is either really cheap, side gigs. Now, don't get me wrong. You could get into the LA Master Chorale and a choir, but I don't want to do choir. I don't like choir. I hated singing in choir. I just didn't want to do it. So you're either doing these side gigs at, concerts, solo stuff, little productions here and there, or you're like Placido Domingo. So the middle ground, it's hard to go. That? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You're either making not enough money to live in the city and doing shit gigs sometimes they're great gigs, but sometimes they're shit and they pay nothing. Or you're Placido Domingo and you're super famous. But to get to that level, you got to sleep with someone. You got to win the lottery,
And also, is it true that it's easier for guys?
Yes.
Than for women?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's like 600 sopranos, 200 baritones, maybe,
Yeah.
5 tenors, and then like 2 basses. Like, that's not an exaggeration. There's just more female singers. And
Okay, so therefore the competition is harder.
as a soprano, yeah.
That's, what
Yeah.
you are.
Well, yeah, but then I was a mezzo soprano. But
Okay.
even as any kind of female voice, yeah, it's difficult. And then just I was working a lot. I was really working my ass off, like in LA. I was working from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. hustling, teaching Taylor Swift songs to rich kids in the Palisades in Beverly Hills, being a voice teacher at an acting institute. I was a guest lecturer at UCLA teaching non-voice majors a voice class. So
Okay.
like football dudes that need an art credit, like take my singing class.
Okay.
And it's really cool. These are cool gigs, but I mean, I'm working all the time on Saturdays, so my life was just getting really hard. And you have to drive everywhere. Then you're spending 4 hours a day in your fucking car. Like, no one knows what that's like here. People are like, oh my God, I have to go to Hamburg. It's like such a long drive. I'm like, dude, that is across Los Angeles. Like, and you have the Autobahn.
Is it that intense in Los
It's
Angeles?
really intense. I did the math, and you spend like something, I don't know, the math's out there, but like a significant part of your life, if you decide to make Los Angeles your home country, your Heimat, like whatever, then you're deciding that you're going to live in your car like 20% of your life. Because 4 hours of your day are just sitting in traffic.
And that changed completely when you left the country.
Yes. I came to this country. I was like, what? A bike?
Do you ride the bike?
Now I do. Yeah. I love my bike. Radfreund. Leipzig brand. Love my bike. But that was a huge life quality change for the better. I don't miss it. I go back to LA. I just was there. I was in a car. I got stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. I wanted to, just shoot myself. It's awful. You're just in traffic, sitting there in your car.
What else did you notice? What was also like completely different?
Yeah, everything.
Like one of
it's
the
America.
like a stark contrast.
A stark contrast would be, actually, it's always going to say it, smiling. Lots of people smiling at you. Hey, what's up? People saying hi to you. Living in Germany, that doesn't happen. And remembering how to interact. Or if you go to a grocery store and you are at the checkout, like if you're in Rewe, it's just like, get it, like, here we go. Like, get everything in your bag quick. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like the person behind you is like, everyone's waiting. Like, Kleingeld? No. Like, it's a war zone. But in America, you check out your grocery items and then the lady's like, how are you? How was your day? I was like, I'm fine. I snapped back. I was like, I don't have time for this. I was still in German mode. I literally acted like a total dick. I was like, I'm fine. Also, I felt like she didn't mean it. And now I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I notice that now. I really do.
But when did you realize that situation? Right in the moment or after?
Right in the moment. Right in the moment. Because you respond to something and you're like, and their face is like, oh, okay. And I'm like, fuck. Damn it, Lauren. Like, no.
So she was pissed.
Yeah, slightly. Because I just said, I don't want to talk right now, which is not American. Like, you should say, I'm doing great, thanks.
And then, how does the dialogue continue?
Have a good day. Find everything okay? Like,
Okay.
all of that. But that is a dance, like an American dance.
Yeah.
That I forgot about that dance. I don't judge that dance because
Yeah.
I am that as well. I am pure. For as long as I've lived in this country, I realize like I will always be extremely American. And that's great. Whatever. Fuck it. But when you go back, you realize those dances that people do with you. And that's something you don't do here.
Yeah, you don't appreciate that here.
No, it's not a thing.
It's considered superficial.
Yeah, oberflächlich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because when you expatriate yourself from your country, you always think like, oh, at least for me, my experience, like the first 6 months, you're like, yeah, fuck America. Yeah, like, whatever. Like, I did this. Like, I'm moving to another country. I'm a new person. And you, like, talk shit about America very openly, and you're, like, just trying to, like, fucking fit in a way. And then...
Does that mean, like, criticizing America?
Yeah, constantly.
Means fitting into German society?
Well, Europe, you know. I've done this. I've lived in Italy, too. Everyone, you know, as an American, you're just constantly... It comes up. Like, it does, you know. Yeah. Oh, you're from America. Oh, I hate the food there, you know, or, oh God, what's happening there? You know, like, people want to comment on it a lot, and you immediately have a different reaction. So the first 6 months I was doing that. Then after that, I was like, no, fuck this. And then I went into a really pro-American way. And then I was like, this is not right either. And now I'm like somewhere in the middle, or I just don't engage. Actually, I don't engage anymore. I'm like, oh, cool. You think that? Awesome. Cool.
Okay. What is it that people don't know about America, which you think is really important?
That we're trying, like, you know, it really sucks for us too. Like, but also that America's huge. I don't think people realize the size of it. And just because they visited for 2 weeks, just like I would never visit. I mean, listen, we all like judge things, and I do it. I mean, we all do, but like judging, I don't know, a whole country based on the time you went to like Florida. Like, dude, Florida is the dick of America. Like, literally, it's hanging there. And it just fucks up a lot of shit. And I'm sorry, I'm from California, and we hate Florida. Like, I don't like Florida, you know? And then
why?
It's just, I've been there. I'm sorry, Florida. I hate Florida. Everything's pastel. It's a weird vibe. There's really conservative people, and then old Jewish people, very different vibes there. You know, like, all of the old Jewish people in New York come down from the East Coast, and they're all snowbirds, and they spend the summers there, and they spend the winters there, you know. They're escaping the snow, so they spend the winters there. And so it's got this like weird old person vibe. Like, there's a lot of old people in Florida. And then it has a hardcore Republican vibe, like guns a-blazing. I mean, that's where the Trayvon Martin case went down, where people can just... It's a law in Florida that if someone's on your lawn, you can shoot them.
Really?
And that's okay. It's called stand your ground law.
Holy shit.
Stand your ground law. It is a fucked up law. It's like, what? Okay. Hi, 1735. Like,
it's intense.
So Florida's dangerous. And then also, it's got a mix of a lot of foreigners, just people from Europe who buy nice beach houses. And then it has a huge influx of Cubans. I mean, Cuban society and Nicaraguan and South America in general, but a lot of Cubans. I mean,
have you ever been to Florida?
Yes.
How was it? How was your personal experience?
I was very confused. Both times I went once after Hurricane Katrina, and I was there and sitting out the hurricane while the hurricane just hit Florida. So it was also a mess. But just a weird... I was in a conservative part of Florida, and it was weird. It's just a weird vibe. Also, the stillness, and it's flat, and it's swampland. You know? It's like damp. I don't know, just a weird vibe. It felt like a weird, scary movie.
But that was during the hurricane.
That was during the hurricane, so I also have feelings tied up in that. So I went back to Florida because I had to go on a cruise for my job. Lol. Love my job. Went on a cruise. So I had to go to Florida to get the fucking cruise boat. And then I went, and again, I was like, okay, now I'm going to be in Miami. Like, this will be cool. Or, you know, it'll be different. I can't wait to experience that. No, it was awful. It was super expensive. People were weird. I just didn't gel with it. It wasn't my land.
So... going back to those people in Germany who just judged the U.S. by having been to Florida, what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't dig it. But then, you know what? Everyone gets that no matter what culture you're from. We all have those things. I just think it's funny how when you're an expat, you go through phases of like nationalism, especially if you're an American, because we're not used to living outside of our own country. And we just have like almost a thing of crises going through it, you know? And now I know I just don't engage. Just listen, Lauren. Just shut the fuck up, Lauren, and just listen. That's like literally what I tell myself.
And why do you say we? Have you talked to other expats?
Yeah.
And they also report the same thing?
Yeah. We all talk about how we go through this like, yeah, fuck America, fuck it. And then we're like, no, we're fine, freedom. And then like just these ups and downs of, especially lately, I mean, we have Donald Trump and, you know, it's just, it always comes up. It just comes up. Just like, I'm sure British people, like anyone from fucking England or Scotland can immediately relate to the Brexit thing. I've talked to British people about this actually lately, and we're just like, oh yeah, fuck, you know, cheers. What
did you guys say?
Just like, what are we doing? Like, what is our country doing? And just talking about how sad it is to like watch from abroad, and it affects you. It affects your visa. You know, it affects a lot of political things. It's scary. It's scary shit. And you're just like, oh fuck. And people want to talk about it, you know.
Do people ask you if you want to talk about it?
They don't ask me if I want to talk about it. They just like launch into it. And you're at a party and you're like, dude, I'm stoned. Like, sorry. But like I am I don't want to talk about, I don't know, politics right now. Like just launching into it. Even though that's technically what I just did on this podcast, is I launched into politics, so kind of.
Well, that's part of your experience of living abroad.
Yeah.
So we're actually not even off topic.
That's true.
So what do you think about that expatriate term? Patriotism, isn't that really strong?
Weird.
Or, I mean, it's a term, people use it, but
I always use it. I don't know. That's what people.
Expatriate. I'm not
Expat.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm an expat.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. It's kind of like rebel without a cause feeling. I don't know. I dig it. I didn't use it the first few years, but I definitely use it now. But also it's like how I'm classified in the United States, which is interesting. I mean, it is a crazy term. Yeah. Expatriate. And then when you go back, you're repatriating or whatever. People say that. Yeah, people say that.
Really?
Yeah, you do that. Because there's a great expat, it's a great expat Facebook group, actually. It's like one Facebook group that I post in and I regularly read and cry and laugh. And it's called Grumpy Expats. And it's incredible. And it's people from all over. It's like, it's like anyone, you know, an Irish person living in India or, you know, a person from Russia living in the United States and then me living in Germany. Like it's people everywhere. And the whole part of the group is you have to respect the grump, meaning if someone says like, I fucking hate it here, and just needs to like vent, you can't say like, my country's great. You can't get nationalistic or you get kicked out of the group immediately. You have to respect the grump, be like, hang in there, buddy. Like, you're going to be fine. But people talk about going back to their countries all the time. And that for me is interesting because they've been in Germany for like 15 years and they go back and because they have to because family's sick or something. And they're having a hard time repatriating back into their society, which is interesting for me to think about. That would be scary.
How is it difficult and how is it difficult for you to get used to German culture? I mean, because I also have a perspective on it and I think it's quite dorky.
What is your perspective? What is your dorky perspective?
That Germans are, of course, we're generalizing because that makes it easier to talk about it.
Hashtag generalizing.
Hashtag you're all the same out there.
Listen, everyone. All you Germans.
All you Germans.
All you Germans.
You are always the same.
Oh, shit.
That was just a joke. Anyway. They have such an eye for details. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not only about discovering things, which is great, but also just proving that you're able to notice details. Sometimes it's just unnecessary how sensitive some people are.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, it can be very... it can be a great gift to be able to be very sensitive for your environment and also like notice details. But sometimes then Germans get like really weird about it, and it's an abstract thing to say, because it is in so many interactions, but it's not really obvious. What I mean with that is that it gets complicated sometimes.
Yeah, shit gets real.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like overcomplicated. Sometimes like, come on, everybody just chill out a tiny little bit.
Wait, are you saying Germans overcomplicate things?
Yeah. And yeah. Just listen to what my explanation is actually the perfect example for that.
That's true though. I agree with all of that.
Everybody could be a little bit more chill about life.
Yeah.
And I think that would be even, like, everybody would benefit from it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it for you to adapt to that?
It's hard. It's no joke. It's hard. Also because, like we were saying, Americans are over the other way. Like, we are so anti-German. Like, we're oberflächlich, like that thing. Like, we are that. Like, we have that schmaltz. Like, we have that fat thing. Like, are you okay? How are you doing? What's your dog's name? Like, what's the weather like? Where are you from? Oh my, like, just to make ourselves feel really comfortable in a social situation. So then when you put an American that's never experienced that in a German culture, and then try to connect on a certain wavelength, it's hard. Of course it's hard, because it's different. It's easier for me with sometimes Italians in a way, because there's a lot there that it's kind of on the table immediately. It's not as complicated like you were saying. But then again, as soon as I figured that out, that it's, and also just whatever, people are fucking different, and it's all for a reason. And also it's not bad, like we all have our things as society. But it is funny how it does make things hard, of course, if you're trying to like integrate in any society. Like, my first German friend, we had kind of a falling out after like a year and a half because of a misunderstanding.
Wow.
And I think it was a cultural misunderstanding too. But it was, in a way, a Jana. I know so many Janas. Yeah. Sorry, Jana. But she knows. Like, but what's funny is she only lived she grew up in Bitterfeld, or and she's never traveled really, and then recently she moved to Spain, and she actually told me later, 2 years into living in Spain, she called me up and she was like, "Hey, I just want to apologize for that thing I said." Like, and she did. Like, she's like, "I didn't realize how hard it is." And that's what I do like about Germans, actually, and I'm going to generalize again, like we are all doing right now. But I like the honesty, and also the willing to say, like, "Hey, I feel this way. I want to tell you." Like, the directness, the honesty, and the fact that you always know, or at least I'm in the romantic phase of, I think I always know. But, like, it's coming from, like, a place of connection and, like, I want to help you. Because also my German friends that I know are some of my like most trusted friends here, way more than some of my American friends, where I know I could call them at like 4 a.m. be like, "I'm fucked. Like, I'm in jail." Like, would I call Madeline? No, just kidding. I call Madeline. But I mean, like, who would I literally would, like, there's just an honesty. And like, some of my best friends, like Thomas, that landlord, he like became one of my best German friends, and he's also just the best of everything Germany has to have. But when I first met him, it was different, so it's just getting over that initial translation failure that your society brings to what you just fucking grew up with. Patience.
And what about, you just said that he is like everything that Germany has to offer or whatever. What do you mean by that?
He loves art. Like, he knows everything about opera. He loves culture. He loves German traditions. Like, he loves he likes all the great stupid beers that he loves. He loves going on hikes. He loves talking about his hikes. He loves his Würstchen. Like, he'll talk about his dog for like a really long time. And yeah, I love, like, he's got intense passions about hobbies. That's a very German thing, is hobbies, like having a passion and getting into it. I feel like that's a very German thing that is beautiful and really cool, and also doesn't have an age limit. But I don't know if I'm also only talking from I don't know. But like,
but what's your experience?
My experience, it's just like these older women who are like 65, and I was teaching them in English. And I'm like, why are you learning now? I want to do this. I want to go and rock climb because that's my thing at this English gym. Or I want to go to New York and I want to take this class. Or I want to hike across California. And I'm like, Jesus, bravo. Like, yes, like, way to grow old and have a hobby, but also just be like, I still have so much to do. And I feel like a lot of older people in America stop themselves and they're like, now I have all this money that I saved up after all these years of working, and I'm not gonna learn. Yeah, I'm gonna go to fucking Florida and you're gonna bring it back to Florida.
It's actually all about Florida.
This is how much we hate. No, just Jesus. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Just now thinking of Florida. But yeah, old people, that was something I really noticed and thought was so cool. And now my expat friends like Madeline and my American friends, we always joke, like, Madeline's like, I want to start a dance class. I was like, yes. #Germany. I was like, hobbies, man. We need more hobbies. Like, we talk about it every year. Like, what's our German hobby?
What about next year? What's going to be your hobbies for
Honestly,
this year?
I want to start a dance class. I took 2 classes of flamenco dancing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just the footwork and the
clapping or whatever.
The rhythms. Like, I wasn't even allowed to dance yet. Just, it's here. And I went to a really cool class and it's really interesting. And I was like, this would be fun. Like, what if I could do that? That'd be a great talent. Like, you need to learn. But it's really intense rhythms and this, like, thing you do with your hands while moving them. And it's great. So that's a possibility of a new hobby for 2020. #German hobbies. Or getting back into guitar, like, really.
Oh, okay, yeah. You have one here.
I've been practicing and it's been really good. Playing country music, like going to an open mic night and just saying, like, fuck you, Berlin, here's some country. And maybe just do country music. Because there's an open mic night right down the block here.
At Du Bist?
Yeah, on Thursdays.
Ooh.
I know.
And what is that? Have you always enjoyed country music, or is that part of like a patriot?
No, I started that when I was like...
phase?
No, I started learning guitar when I was 10. And then I immediately started singing country. And when I mean country, I mean like Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, 1960s, 1950s, like country, like real
old stuff. Yeah,
fucking shooting my man, drinking whiskey, taking the pills, singing a song.
Watching your lawn.
Yeah, country's great, and I think I could bring it to the people here or be booed off stage. And that's a possibility too, and I'm down.
Totally worth the risk.
Totally worth the risk, and also...
only for the experience.
Yes. Listen, I can tell my grandchildren, this one time grandma was living in Berlin, and she thought she could bring country there, and everyone hated her.
We could also do a house concert with it.
Yeah.
And get
actually...
some donations. Come over to Leipzig.
And I'm going, I think, next weekend, maybe. I didn't tell you this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. January.
What?
I'll see you in a few days.
Amazing.
I was thinking of singing at Jeanette's house. Jeanette's having a thing, and she wanted me to sing opera, and I was like, I'll do guitar, I'll do folk music or country. And she's like, okay.
Cool.
Just don't feel like singing opera. Yeah.
Have you prepared anything already?
Yeah, I have a repertoire. I used to do open mic nights all the time. Like, this is a thing. I'm basically really famous in LA.
No way.
I'm just joking. No one knows me. Yeah. So, flamenco dancing or guitar?
All right. Wow. Definitely music.
Definitely music related. Has to be. Or maybe I'll start singing opera again. I could just start practicing.
You could start any day, right?
Yeah. Just have to, like, I need it. I need a piano though. I really need a piano. So if anyone wants to buy me a piano, just send it to.
Yeah, we'll put in the link in the description.
Piano donations.
.com.
No, but really, laurenlade.com. Yeah.
So.
Things.
Germany.
Deutschland. Yeah.
Germany, America, expats. Are you going to stay here?
I think so. I don't know.
You never know.
Even when I say it out loud, I go through like a cycle of like, maybe, absolutely, I don't know.
But you don't have to know, right? You don't have to know.
God, I hope we don't have to know. I hope there's not like a deadline. Actually, I do have to apply for my permanent residency. That's my next thing. So I am going to try to apply for permanent residency.
Cool. How does that work?
Well, it works by just filling out an application, taking a test, language test.
Oh, easy.
Easy. And then an interview.
Have you ever done an interview?
Mm-hmm. All the Ausländerbehörde things. Like, you have to...
They ask you, like, hey...
Why are you here?
Are you going to be a good citizen?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to set this country on fire! Why do we need you? The Leipzig Ausländerbehörde is like... That's a hard one. Just kidding. I love them. They're so great.
Can you go into detail?
Oh, God. Actually, I can't. I don't want to talk. I don't think I can. Like,
don't. We'll cut this out.
We'll cut this part out. No, I love them. They're so nice. Berlin's a little bit easier. Let's just say that.
Because it's full of expats.
There's so many foreigners here. We're all here. And they're changing the name of it. I just found out today.
The name of what?
It's going to be ein something, not aus, because they find it very offensive that aus is like out, foreigner. It's like a negative connotation. It's going to be like a more positive German word that I obviously forgot.
Just a freaky compound.
Yeah. Like oh my God.
Neue Deutsche Behörde.
Nein. Fuck. It has ein in it. Anyways, everyone looked that up and they changed the name like a week ago. And
oh wow, so they already did it.
Yeah, it's like last week. Yeah. Because they thought the aus was negative. So that's really cool. Thanks. Like, I just want to give a shout out. Also, it's a nice thing when you hear that as a foreigner in a country and they're like, "Hey, we don't hate you that much. We're going to change the word." Even that, we'll take it. We'll like, "Thank you. That's really sweet of you. We appreciate you."
So you felt also offended by the word Ausländer.
Yeah, it's kind of out, and it's also used in the media as a negative thing, That's another, I don't like to say the word foreigner, because even in my media, that's a huge term right now. That's why I like using expat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Berlin, you've lived somewhere else. Berlin's completely different.
Görlitz.
Berlin is just an international island.
Yeah.
Amongst other capital cities.
I think it's one of the only cities I've lived in or even traveled to where you hear like 7 languages down the street. I mean, you'll hear so many different languages just walking down the street, especially over here. It's great. It's really cool. I don't feel other here at all. At all.
It's cool, eh?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's weird too, because then I forget where I live. Like I really forget. And I'm like, then that's an awesome feeling. That took a really long time to get to. But
to realizing that
I think once you're like 5 years in to your like living in another country, then you're like, when things like going to the grocery store doesn't bother you, meaning you get yelled at, or going to, getting yelled at on a bus because you didn't have the right amount of change. Where it doesn't bother you, like, fuck, I fucked up. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Like, those little things, like, ruin your day when you're a foreigner and you're just trying to, like, get a piece of bread and understand how the fuck to live in a country, and then someone yells at you because you fucked up. Like, those things they ruined my days. Like, I would come home crying. Seriously. And then now I could give less of a shit And I'm also like confrontational.
Yeah.
I'm also like, fuck it. Like, I have paid my blood. Like, I feel like blood, sweat, and tears. So I think at the 5-year mark, a lot of people are like, or even 3-year mark, you know, you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. You just need a thick skin here.
Anywhere. I think if you just take yourself out of any natural surrounding that's not natural for you, meaning a different language. I mean, this is anything that's outside of you. It makes you live faster. I think you have to be more present every day. I can't just check out, you know. I can now though. I can just check out.
So you say there's less of a routine if everything's new.
Everything's new. And you don't know it. So you're present. It's nice. That's why I do talk about that with a lot of other expats. Like the amount of life lessons you kind of learn in the first 2 to 3 years. It just feels like you live like 7 lives. Just because you went through so many weird stories. Like I'd be living my LA life, you know, just in the sun, eating, just like, I don't know. I wouldn't
be living in the same street, same city,
you know,
going to the same stores, hanging out with the same friends.
Yes. There's lessons to be had there too. But when you're in another country and like you just figured out what that word meant, and then this friend, you made a random friend and they, you know, it's just like, it's constant, or you just figured out something. I don't know. It's constant learning. So it feels like, but now it's kind of sad because now I'm in it and it has slowed down. So now I can check out, which makes me sad. And then you feel like you're Ernest Hemingway and you're like, oh, there's no land for me. And I must go to France, you know?
Yeah.
And that I do worry about when I think about staying. I'm like, I don't want to be an eternal wanderer. I don't know. I just went off topic.
No. I mean, so far you have came to Germany, which is a new country, and you love learning a lot. You love a fast life, and you totally appreciate all the different things that happen to you while you are not used to your surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you might continue doing that.
I might consider doing it. This sweet apartment. So is it something that you have ever recommended to any of your friends back home, like come to Germany? All the time. I say it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Americans feel like moving to another country is this huge thing. Like you've got to have all this money and you gotta, you know, have things in order. It's like, no, you actually can like get on a plane and you can just like, you can do it. I mean, yeah, if you have kids, if you don't have the money, but you know, I saved up for a year doing concerts, like just to get the money to survive here for the first, I had a plan. It was a year plan, you know, with another person who moved with me. So we were both able to like save, but it wasn't as hard as people when they talk about it. Like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like you live in Germany. What? Like Americans think it's kind of insane. You're like, it's not that crazy actually. Like people live in other countries.
Do they envy you
all the time?
Or?
Yeah, of course. There's a romantic thing. I'm so, you know, oh wow, she lives in Berlin. Of course, but at the same time, I think I always like to say how easy it is in a way, just to calm everyone down. Like, just it's not that bad, guys. Like I'm not Christopher Columbus. You know, I'm not an astronaut, you know, you just literally get on a plane and then you land and then you're like, okay, here we go. Like,
how did you have that plan at the beginning? I mean, did you know what kind of, I mean, I always think of bureaucracy first because that's like a big challenge. You probably didn't know where to do what at the beginning. You were just like, hey, here we are.
I went to the German consulate in LA and talked to them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I did.
They gave you a how-to tutorial.
Yeah, they were like, what city are you planning to go to? We're like, Leipzig. What are you planning to do? We're like, Freiberufler, you know. They're like, oh, shit. Just kidding. They're like, okay, like, you're going to have to prove you make this much and you have to have contracts and you might want to get another job in the meantime while you guys are searching for that work. And they were super helpful. And of course we did a lot of research. I mean, online on a blog. Toy Town Germany is a big one.
What's it called?
Toy Town Germany.
Toy Town Germany.
Big expatriate blog on the bureaucracies and little things that you need to know. How to hook up your kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Like when you're moving, you know, just know that there's this thing called Warm- und Kaltmiete. And, you know, in Germany, they do this differently. And it's all done by Americans, so it's a comparison.
Okay.
So when like the heater electrician guy comes over to read those numbers, the first time that happened, that freaked the crap out of me because they just come in the house, you know?
Yeah.
Like, here I come, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no one could just enter your house in America. That we don't do it like that. You know, we pay monthly.
Yeah. So weird.
Anyways, so just those small things we read about. So I didn't come over here like, but I don't know. I had the internet. It still wasn't, I'm sorry. I still think it's not that hard, you know?
So have you ever recommended it to somebody who then ended up coming to Germany?
Yes. I mean, I'm sorry, but Madeline wanted to move to Germany, but I told her it was pretty amazing. Like, I did convince her at this party where I first met her.
Thank you.
I know, I did. Because she was like, I might just stay in the United States or I might come here. I was like, oh, girl, run. I was like, it's way better here. Like, we need you. I need you. You're a great person. Plus, it's not that hard. I was like, trust me. It's just going to be like a better situation for you. Like, it's going to be better. And she listened to me. Obviously, it's all my doing. No, just kidding.
No. Yeah, well, I mean,
But
Madeline is a friend, and she lives here in Germany, and she's doing fine.
she's doing great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually received a message today.
You did?
Yeah. She was like, hey, I'm back home, and happy to be home.
Oh, I need to text her.
Yeah. We'll see each other next weekend.
Yeah. It really depends on if I need a weekend to like do nothing. But I should just come. I know. I should just come.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, well, what are one of the weird things that you noticed about Germans? I have noticed that they are very, like, full on. Can you confirm that?
I feel like it's not full on.
No?
No, I feel like, but I told you, like, I come from a really loud family, direct. I also think Americans are kind of confrontational as people. We're not direct in the way Germans are, but we love confrontation, obviously. Just look at our politics. Like,
Yeah.
we love fucking shit up.
But I wouldn't say you shouldn't confuse the government with the population.
No, but I mean, it's a good reflection of how we react to certain things. And I think Americans are reactionary. You should never confuse the two things. But reactionary, like I was telling you the other night, like I liked hearing Germans discuss an issue in a room together.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's something I noticed. Americans discussing an issue, we can get really hot-headed and intense about it.
Okay.
And I'm generalizing Americans, but
Yeah, always.
I know a lot, and I've been in those situations. Not just me, I've also been a listener. And it's more, I just feel that way. That's kind of a interesting thing. But what was the question that you asked? Fuck.
If the Germans are like full on, and with full on I mean all in, maybe.
Yes.
Like either
I think in a romantic way, almost.
Yeah, if they talk, they talk.
Yes.
If they don't talk, they like. There's not that small talk thing that you mentioned earlier, or.
I get it.
Or think of all the
Do they
festivals
go, like,
in the summer. It's
balls to the walls on something.
Yeah.
Like
anything. If we study something crazy or work.
you go to 11. Spinal Tap reference.
Yeah. What is that? Spinal
Great
Tap?
movie. Christopher Guest movie, Spinal Tap. Oh, we have to watch it. It's
Okay.
so good. Everyone watch Spinal Tap. It's a funny film. But this guy, they're making fun of heavy metal rockers. And he's like, this amp, it goes to 11, not 10. So it's a joke that you say we go to 11.
You're funny, Lauren.
Thank you. Germans go to 11, but I also think it's this like romantic thing. Like I find Germans very romantic as people. Just the poetry, yes, the music. But I'm coming at it as a musician, and I think German Lieder, like Deutsch Lieder, Schumann, Schubert, like Heine, Meyerhofer, these poets are like, I mean, it's romantic shit. It's all about sex and trees. All the poetry, all that like great 18th century, 1800s poetry.
There's a special connection between Germans and forests.
Oh, and I've learned a lot actually.
Waldeinsamkeit, I think is a word.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. I know it is because it's in a whole bunch of songs. I'm not kidding. There's one song called Der Wanderer, and that's my anthem. It's about like an expat going through another land and feeling different things. Actually, that's a great song for this topic. It's Der Wanderer by Schubert.
How does it go?
I'm not singing.
All right.
No way. That'll be 2,000 euros.
But it was just a try.
I'm sneaky. Der Wanderer is so good. But this connection with nature is really incredible. And actually, I will never live in a city without a park ever again. Like, it's fucked up, and it makes your life 10 times better. If you go out into nature, your heart rate goes down, you smile. This is beautiful. I grew up in LA. Like, I had nature in my back. Actually, my mom painted that right there. That's in our back. That's the mountain.
Oh, really?
That's the Sierra Madre mountain.
Nice.
So we have nature. But do we enjoy it and go out in it? Only some of us, you know.
Did you do that?
Not my family, no.
But they took you camping.
But they took me camping. But not every day. Like, I got camping, so I got that in. Okay, yes, true. Good one. But I didn't get it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, in Leipzig, I had to, like, walk to a lesson and go through the Klauzecken Park. And just, like, you're like, what? I'm going to go to my job right now.
It's beautiful.
I used to sit in traffic, and now I'm, like, going through a beautiful forest. Life just got 10 times better, you know?
Did you expect that?
No, I didn't expect that, and I didn't know what that was like. I've never experienced that. I've never had a park like that I would go through every day. Or on Sunday, the Sunday thing of shutting everything down and going on a fucking gussy little walk outside with your dog. Like, that is beautiful. And actually, when people would visit me, I would always be like, okay, we're going to go on a big walk in the forest. You just got off the plane? Great. And Americans, you know, it depends where you're from in America. I'm from Los Angeles.
I guess Oregon or something. Washington.
Totally different. My friend Katie grew up in the forest, and she's amazing. All my friends from Montana. But, yeah. That's a beautiful thing here. Waldeinsamkeit.
Big word.
Einsamkeit.
That's another thing. We made fun of that. What did I say? I think Verlustbewältigungsangst Spotify.
Yes.
What was that?
The new word. It's a word that we're making for when you have to choose the song on Spotify.
Totally a new word of our age.
Yeah. Basically, Rudy made it. We were wondering what word, like what language could have that word. And it has to be German because you guys can smush the words together.
Yeah.
It's a great quality.
So the idea is, or the thing is, when you hang out with friends and you need to pick another song for the queue on Spotify, whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's a certain pressure that you bring the appropriate song to the appropriate time.
Under pressure.
Yeah, always. And that risk of failing, that suspense, that is the Verlustbewältigungsangst Spotify. There you go. That's very nerdy, dorky. German, I think. But this, like,
I'm into that word. That's super fucking cool. I love making up words.
no, yeah, but that's the way German sometimes works with expressions like Eierschalen Sollbruchstellen Verursacher. It's a thing.
What? What's that?
Eierschalen.
Yeah.
It's the
egg.
eggshell.
Yeah, eggshell.
Sollbruchstelle.
No idea.
That is a crack on purpose.
What?
On an object so that it will crack open there if you hit it.
How would you use that in a sentence? Sorry.
It's a very specific term.
Yeah, I'm like, see,
Sollbruchstelle
that is a very German. That's
yeah. What I mean with it. You know,
yeah.
that, whoa, those words are monsters sometimes.
Monsters. And actually, it's why you never sing. I mean, you should never sing in classical music, I think, in any other language besides the language it's written in. But, like, you would never hear, like, a Schubert song in English. And when you do, you want to, you know, kill someone because it's so bad. Because the English translation will never do it justice. Because there's so many of those, like, romantic word pairings that you just can't translate a lot of the times. That's great. Good language for that.
Yeah.
Poetry.
Totally.
Do you like German poetry? Do you know about that? Did you study poetry? What is that in Germany?
I don't know as much as I would like to know about poetry, about German poetry.
Did you have like a poetry class?
No, it was just part of the regular curriculum of German classes at school.
Did you have to memorize poetry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to memorize.
Are you good at memorizing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you have to memorize?
Der Erlkönig by Goethe.
Yeah.
But I only know.
Also, great song, Schubert.
Did you?
Der Erlkönig?
Yeah.
Ja, klar. Fucking no klar.
Duh.
It is the best song. It's the hardest technique. It's one of the hardest songs. It's always at a competition.
Der Erlkönig.
Yeah. Just say that to Anni next time you meet her, pianist friend. Just say those two words, and she's a pianist. She's like, oh fuck.
She loves it.
Yeah. It's like it's one of the hardest songs for pianists to play. One of the hardest Schubert songs. Because it's so monotonous and it just like it's great. It's beautiful.
Wow, let's listen to it afterwards.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Okay.
Do you have andere? Ja.
Yeah.
Cool, you had to memorize that?
But I had a great...
Mein Vater.
Mein Vater.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway.
Keep going.
My friend Fabian Ajash, he lives in Leipzig, and he's the reason why I've luckily gained a really personal, very deep, I'd say, experience concerning poetry. Because he's a poet.
Nice.
And he read out a poem to us, and it not only content-wise was stunning, but also the way he presented it was very creative. So it wasn't a poem on a piece of paper that has one specific sequence, but he knew which was the first verse, and after that he drew them. He had cut them before the verses, so he just drew them. And
from a hat?
From a skull.
What?
Yeah. Cool reference to Hamlet. So he drew them from a skull and read them out. And he also said, not only is that this random factor chat, but also he said at the beginning, like as in techno tracks, he will start slowly, then he will increase the tempo of reading them out, and then he will calm down again, and we then know that it's over.
Flux of tempos, man. That shit works.
Yeah, so that is my most recent, deepest connection to poetry, and he has inspired me a lot.
What's his name?
Fabian Ajash.
Okay, sick. I want to hear.
Sick dude.
Want to hear poems?
Yeah. Totally. What about you?
That would actually be a really cool song concept if that was done to music. If you sang the first line that's in there and then you drew things and had to make up the melody as it went.
That'd be great.
That'd be a sick song. Someone do that.
Please.
That would be really cool. That would be a cool experience. That whenever I meet poets, actually, I always ask them if they have a composer they work with, and if they don't, why? Because they should be putting their poetry to music.
So do you think a composer should always also hang out with a singer?
Yes, no. Singers are the worst. No, just kidding. No, not a singer, but a composer or a pianist.
Okay.
Singers, we'll get the end result. Like,
okay.
But a professional, like, fucking, yeah, duo part, like, lyrics, music, those Rodgers and Hammerstein, fucking Elton John and that dude he was really in love with, who was his lyricist, the guy who wrote Your Song. Elton John didn't write those lyrics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, that was one of his best friends growing up.
Wow.
Tiny Dancer, Your Song. Those are all of this relationship, lyrics and music. To suppose like a musician should also have to write lyrics, that's great, and of course many have done it and fucking excel at it, but also like having two people creates a different dichotomy because you have two different thoughts and two ears, and sometimes better music.
Okay.
Don't you? I don't know. I think about that sometimes.
I love the thought. I have to admit I have never thought about that before.
So that's why whenever I meet poets, I'm like, also we got to work with a lot of poets when you study in conservatory, like in the composition department works with the literature department.
Oh, wow.
And then we have to perform them sometimes. That was fun, actually. You had to work with a composition class to like perform the stuff that they're doing. And some of it is just like, ugh, the worst. Just like, it was harsh, just like, oh wow, this is bad. And some of it, you're just like, what? This is so cool. But LA, Los Angeles music scene actually has a lot of new music. We're known for that. We produce and provide a lot of new classical music.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, a lot of great composers and good things coming out of that city. Also, Los Angeles Philharmonic is like, since Esa-Pekka Salonen in the 90s, like they have always decided to do new music, not doing Mahler and Beethoven and whatever every year, but like something with living composers or
cool
Latino composers.
So they restrict themselves to it.
Oh yeah, they're really intense with it, and it's a great marketing tool because now they're known for it. Now it's one of the best orchestras in the world because of Esa-Pekka Salonen. Fucking amazing conductor. Oh fuck, Finnish. Oh my god.
What? He's Finnish?
I don't think he's Finnish. Oh no, the fact I don't know this is sad. Actually,
it's all right.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed.
We can just look it up.
He's amazing. He's amazing, and he changed the whole landscape of like the LA Phil and how a lot of Americans listen to classical music. I mean, he was like, why aren't... And it was so funny because he was a foreigner. He was, someone coming in and saying like, why aren't you Americans doing new music that's being written? Like, he's the one who saw that and then brought it out for this orchestra. Would an American, someone who, would they see that? I don't think so. I think it's really cool. And now Dudamel is there.
Who's that?
Dudamel, the dude. Oh my God, this young, oh fuck, now I forgot his country too. This is really bad. Chilean, I think. South American, Chilean. Yes, or Peruvian. Anyways, great conductor. Part of the El Sistema, like that whole way of teaching.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. It's like a new way of teaching music and this whole pedagogy that's really he and these people have done in South America. It's amazing. Bringing also music to people who usually are not given that music. And he grew up in that system and became a fucking badass conductor. And now he's the conductor of the LA Phil. And wow. He's the dude. He's very like charismatic, super like huge motions. It's a show. always, but it's great. And he's doing great things for the orchestra. Also doing new music, great concerts. It's awesome. Non-American, which is really cool.
And what is important if you're a conductor? How is he good? How is he so great?
He's just okay, so he's very clean. It's easy to read him. That's what he's known for. He definitely, it's like simple. The only thing about his interpretation as a conductor, it's kind of poppy, but one could argue it should be because they're in Hollywood and they're playing in LA. It's very showy, you know, big retardandos, meaning big slowdowns, big crescendos, your classic kind of sound, not really stretching our ear, as you would say, not being like, oh, what? Or interesting, you know, or, oh, I hate that. It's kind of vanilla in a way.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Will it touch you? Maybe not. Will it make you excited about something? I think so. Now, that's not to say he doesn't conduct touching music. I saw Verdi Requiem. It's amazing. So it's just, this is a general review that people say.
All right.
Yeah. I like him a lot, though. I mean, he's doing great things for that city and also giving great opportunities to like all different kinds of people. He's really into like incorporating the community and also hiring people from Los Angeles. It's great.
How do we get to that?
I don't know. We hopped so far. Sorry. Went off on LA.
Anything to conclude?
No.
Well then. Thanks.
No problem. You're welcome. Ta-da.